So, happy December, everybody. This video is gonna be a list of my top Christmas horror movies slash a few just winter horror slash thriller movies. I have 9 that center around Christmas and 5 that center around just the winter season. So, this list will be a spoiler-free list. By the way, I'm just gonna give the summary, and it's up to you to decide if you want to watch it or not. So, in alphabetical order, starting with the Christmas ones, starting with number 1, Better Watch Out, from 2016. It's an hour and 29 minutes long. On a quiet suburban street, a babysitter must defend a 12-year-old boy from intruders only to discover it's far from a normal home invasion. Now, this movie is very good. It's underrated in my opinion, and you should go watch it. There is a twist, and I enjoyed the movie.
Ricky, why can't you just leave me alone? He's such a jerk.
Don't hang up on me.
What was that? Oh my god.
Moving on to number 2, Black Christmas. As I mentioned, the 2006 and 2019 versions are decent. I only watched the 2006 one once, and the 2019 one I watched recently, but the one I want to recommend is the 1974 original Black Christmas with a runtime of an hour and 38 minutes. During their Christmas break, a group of sorority girls are stalked by a stranger. And if you're a fan of slashers and you've never seen this, what are you doing? And if you're just a fan of horror movies in general and you've never seen it and you don't really like slashers that much, give this one a watch.
Remember those idyllic scenes out of your childhood? Crisp winter nights, star bright, sleigh bells, crackling Yule logs, candlelight glistening off of shimmering Christmas trees, chestnuts roasting over open fires, carolers beneath snow-covered window ledges. Remember those. Remember them well. After Black Christmas, they'll never be the same again.
Number 3 is Dead End from 2003. It's an hour and 55 minutes long, and you may recognize Ray Weiss from Twin Peaks and Lin Shaye, who is in the Insidious movies, is also in this movie. They play a married couple. On Christmas Eve, on his way to his in-laws with his family, Frank decides to try a shortcut for the first time in 20 years. It turns out to be the biggest mistake of his life. And this movie is trippy, and I really enjoyed this movie, and I just recently watched this movie. It's new to me this year. I'm always on the lookout for new movies, and I can't recommend this one enough. Watch this movie.
Is anybody else just the least bit freaked out that we are the only car on the road right now?
Moving on to number 4, Deathcember from 2019. It's 2 hours and 25 minutes long. It's a collection of 24 films, short films, that take a look at the dark side of the festive season. 24 international directors with the most diverse ideas and styles linked by short animated segments that deal with the advent calendar itself. And the shorts in this movie are really good. I watched the whole thing. I couldn't stop watching it. And with them being short films, none of them drag. It's very good. So, yeah, if you like these types of films, this one is a good one to watch. Number 5 is The Gremlins from 1984, an hour and 46 minutes long. A man inadvertently breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet and unleashes a horde of malevolently mischievous monsters on a small town. And yeah, it's Gremlins.
Don't shake it. We're gonna have to open it now. It won't wait till Christmas.
And moving on to number 6 is Krampus from 2015. An hour and 28 minutes. Adam Scott is in this movie, and others as well. A boy who has a bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home. And I really like the silliness of this movie and the design of Krampus as well. I know some people really hate this movie, but I enjoy it. I watch it every year. So, yeah. And number 7 is P2 from 2007, an hour and 38 minutes. Wes Bentley is in this movie. He was in American Horror Story. A businesswoman is pursued by a psychopath after being locked in a parking garage on Christmas Eve. P2, parking 2, yeah. And this movie is also new to me this year. I just found out about it and I'm surprised I never heard of it before. It is very, very good, and if this is your first video of mine that you're seeing, I did a video on single location movies, and this one could be considered that. They're in the the parking garage, they're all over it, but you know. So give this one a watch. It's kind of creepy, but very good. Very, very good.
What am I gonna do?
And number 8 is the Hulu original movie Puka from 2018. It's in the Into the Dark series that Hulu did, and it's considered a TV episode, but it's an hour and 23 minutes long, and I consider them all just movies. A struggling actor takes on a seasonal holiday job as the mascot for the year's hottest new toy, Puka. However, after putting the costume on, he develops 2 personalities, one for himself and one for Puka. And this movie is very good. It's a thinker, and I don't want to go into that much depth because I am working on a video dissecting all the movies in the Into the Dark series, so yeah, but give this one a watch if you give any of them a watch so far.
This year's new hottest toy, Puka.
And finally, number 9 is Wind Chill from 2007. It has Emily Blunt. It's an hour and 31 minutes long. It's a slow burn movie. It's, again, new to me this year, but very, very good. It can also be considered a single location movie. It's about 2 college students share a ride home for the holidays, but when they break down on a deserted stretch of road, they are preyed upon by the ghosts of people who have died there. And this one is similar to Dead End, with them being on a stretch of road and taking a shortcut and it going wrong, but they are 2 very totally different movies, and Emily Blunt does very well in this role. I think it's a standout for her. I'm surprised I never heard of this movie before that, so yeah.
Morning for the entire eastern seaboard. Temperatures will plunge with a wind chill reaching 30 degrees below zero.
What the hell is this?
Are we lost or something?
It's a shortcut.
Get back on the highway.
Down, relax.
Pull over.
Hey, you want me to pull over? There's no
And moving on to my winter list. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. It only has 5 movies. Number 1 is The Dead Zone from 1983, an hour and 43 minutes long. Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen. It's a Stephen King story as well, so you know you're in for a ride. When Johnny Smith awakens from a coma caused by a car accident, he finds that years have passed and he now has psychic abilities. Heartbroken that his girlfriend has moved on with her life, Johnny also must come to terms with his unsettling powers, which allow him to see a person's future with a mere touch. After shaking the hand of aspiring politician Greg Stilson, Johnny sees the danger presented by the candidate's rise and resolves to kill him. So yeah, a lot happening.
If the future were in your hands.
The daughter's screaming. The house is burning.
Would you change it?
Moving on to number 2 is Fargo from 1996, an hour and 35 minutes. And if I list everyone who's in this movie, we can be here all day, so I'm not going to. But a lot of stars in this movie, and everyone's probably seen this movie, but if you haven't, go watch it. A Minnesota car salesman, Jerry Lungard's inept crime falls apart due to his and his henchmen's bungling and the persistent police work of the quite pregnant Marge Gunderson. It's exactly what it sounds like it is, so yeah.
Sure that I agree with you 100% on your police work there, Lil. I think that vehicle there probably had dealer plates.
Jeez.
DLR.
Number 3 is The Grey from 2011, an hour and 57 minutes. Liam Neeson fighting wolves, and that should be all I need to say. But after their plane crashes in Alaska, 6 oil workers are led by a skilled huntsman to survival, but a pack of merciless wolves haunts their every step. Yeah, this movie is very good. It made me cry at points, but yeah, it's a very good movie. And I like the ending. I know some people had a problem with the ending, but I really like the ending.
Don't move. Stay right back at
And number 4 is The Shining from 1980, 2 hours and 29 minutes. Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall. We all know this movie, I think. Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick. Yeah. A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter where a sinister presence influences the father into violence while his psychic son sees horrific images from both past and future. So...
But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and killed his family with an axe.
And number 5 is The Thing, 1982, an hour and 49 minutes. Kurt Russell movie. Very good movie. Almost better than the original movie. A research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims. And this movie was probably the first horror movie that actually kind of got under my skin. No pun intended. And Kurt Russell does a very, very good job in this role as well.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open.
And just as mentions, just 3 TV show episodes that are horror Christmas based in 2-sentence horror stories. Season 2, episode 5, Quota. Creeped Out, season 2, episode 10, Splinter Claws, and Love, Death, and Robots, season 2, episode 6, All Through the House. And then, just as mentions for a few Christmas horror movies, The Lodge, a nasty piece of work, A Christmas Horror Story, I Trapped the Devil, and Red Christmas. And then for winter, Frozen, not that Frozen, The Snowman, Snowpiercer, and Whiteout. So yeah, that's my list for horror Christmas / winter movies. And leave in the comments if you have any, if I missed any, or any that you have that just you watch at Christmas time just because. So thanks for watching and see you later.